everyone, Sherry here, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm just doing a quick scarf tutorial on this scarf right here that I made. Just an infinity scarf with some fringe added to it, and so quick and easy. But this is what I love about sewing, is you can get a creative idea and run with it, and sometimes it turns out and sometimes it doesn't. But this t-shirt here is one of my creative ideas, and I kind of like it this way. It's a little different. Anyway, I don't mind the color brown, and actually brown is not only the color of the earth, but it also represents stability, reliability, and shows strength. Who knew? So I'm not going to feel bad about wearing brown. So I am going to turn on the other camera, and so you just need a 16-inch whole width of fabric. Like, this is around 56 inches, so this is measuring at 15 and a half. I think I cut this one at 16 inches. So 16 inches across and one width of fabric. You're probably aiming at around 60 inches of a width. So you have, and you can piece it together. This one I did piece together. Where is it? There's my seam. You're not going to see it. It's a scarf. It's going to be all scrunched up. So I decided to go with this mesh like fabric here. And I just cut, that's about 4 inches wide. So now I am going to cut my fringe like thing, and I think I'm going to do it this way. So you want to leave about ½ inch, and I'm cutting them quite wide, and I'm doing it on a diagonal. I'm trying to vary it a little bit. My diagonals are not going very diagonal. And see, that'll stretch out a little bit. Alright. So then, this will be our back seam. I'm trying to pull this apart. Alright. So I'm going to sew it. See how that stretches? So I'm going to want to keep it about ½ inch away, and I'm going to sew it on the scarf on a diagonal. So there's one. See how many we can get. And I don't even measure it, or I didn't with the other one. Now I kind of want to cover this seam a bit. I'm going to stretch it. I want one there. Am I going to get 2 more out of this? Maybe. I'm going to put another one there. And it looks like I need another piece. So what I will do is I'll just sew this one in the middle. So I need some more of that. Not very much. Where's piece? Like an uneven edge. Where are you? Right here. Maybe. No, this is it. Alright. This stuff is so old, you wouldn't even believe it if I told you. Alright. So we might as well use all of this. Oh. Where are we at? 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we'll stick one on in here somewhere. So you could pin this all on. I think what I did before was I just pinned the starting point because I know I'm gonna, it doesn't have to be just so I don't drop them on the way to the sewing machine. So I know I want one in there. Alright. I know I want one in here somewhere. Just keep them about ½ an inch so they don't get stuck into the seam allowance when you sew this up. Guess we're going to do it here, aren't we? And one more. 2 more. So yeah, I just anchor it there so it doesn't fall off, so I have a rough idea of where it's going to go. And there you have it. So I just use a straight stitch, and so along here you could use a zigzag because you're not going to see it, right? So I'm just going to sew right along here. Same with this one, I'm just going to sew right along here. So I will show you what it looks like when that's done. So there is our pieces sewn on there. I didn't measure them. This little piece got 2 on there. See? That's what it looks like on the back. You can see my line there. So, how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 5. The one over on my mannequin behind me only has 4. So now, I'm going to tuck that in there. Going to fold it in half. And we're going to sew it together, the long ends. And just going to sew all the way along, even it up. Sew all the way along here, cut our threads off. Sew all the way along, and we're going to stop around here. Okay? So that's the next step. So we sewed all the way along here, the long edge, left a little bit of an opening there. Turn it right side out is what I'm going to do. What am I thinking? Yeah. Now we're going to sew it together. So we grabbed an end, pulled it, make sure it's straight, unless you were going to twist it, because if you're going to twist it, then this seam should be facing down here, unless you do it a few times. So I didn't plan on twisting this one, and I don't believe it is. If it is, it's alright. So now I'm going to sew the two ends together. So I'm going to sew around here, all the way around. Simple, right? So we sewed around there. We have our opening. So now we're going to pull the scarf out. Just like that. And now, just going to close this opening. I'm just going to sew it on the machine as neatly as possible, or you can hand sew it. So I'm just going to sew that shut. Tuck all my threads in there. Alright, hi. So, close that. The opening where we pulled the scarf through. I just sewed along there. And so it's finished. So this is the one. So then I throw it in the washing machine. And see what happens. These curl a little bit. They're not going to look as chunky. So I just throw it in the washing machine. Let's see what it looks like. So you could do that with some lace. You can buy lacy fabric that looks like that. Or I've got another idea here. So I have these pom-poms. And I have the fabric that my shirt's made out of. And I'm going to do the same thing on this. And I will sew, because these are just a strip. and sew those on there. Or you could use, well, you can use whatever you want. You can use fringe, you can use beads, any kind of trims. You can use all your leftover salvages from your serger and make a fringe if you wanted. Sky's the limit with what you can do, and I think that turned out pretty good. These will curl up nicely and it goes well with that fabric. Same as maybe these pom-poms will look good on this. I don't know, but I'm going to do the same way. And I'm just sewing it diagonal because when the scarf is wrapped around your neck, it's you don't want to see rows. That is the reasoning behind it. So it's a very simple thing to do. It's a great way to use up some of your scraps, because you could even use like fringe that you make off of your leftover jersey scraps if you wanted. So imagination, let it run wild. I don't know if it looks good with the pom-poms or not. It's a little different. Anyway, you don't know until you try. You can use up a lot of scraps and sew your jersey fabrics together to make a scarf, and try out some trims and see what happens. I think once that's washed, these will end up looking like that. So I hope that gave you some ideas to use up some trims and things in your sewing room to make a infinity scarf. They make a really great gift, and just have some fun with it. That's what I do. Sometimes it turns out, sometimes it doesn't. I'm not sure if I like the pom-pom thing happening here. Look, I know it's all tangled. It's a little different. I don't know. Somebody would like it, I'm sure. So yeah, just try out some new things and be creative. I hope I inspired you. Have a great week. Talk to you soon. Bye.